What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Scripture Plug Albert, and today, oh yes, today we're going to be reacting to a brother by the name of Nabi Asli. I probably pronounced that brother's name the wrong way, but the links to everything is down in the description box below. If you want to check out this brother's work, he does amazing digital work when it comes to breaking down and showing the truths of Islam. So we're about to get into it, we're about to learn why on earth would Islam allow what it is that Prophet Muhammad was doing. And more importantly, why in the world would Islam allow the marriage of a 50-plus-year-old man and a 6-year-old girl? That's what we're about to get in today. That's what we're about to find out today, y'all. Shout out to everybody in chat for pulling up. Shout out to everybody watching this in the future. Without further ado, let's go ahead on and get into this. Let's learn something. Let's see what's really going on in Islam.
This video is about the marriage of Prophet Muhammad and Aisha, as the main example of child abuse and perversion that was, and is, sanctioned in Islam. The source of narration is the History of Al-Tabari, Volume 9, page 129 to 130.
Got the sources up there, y'all.
Prophet Muhammad's first wife was Khadijah. The couple married for 25 years in Mecca. When Khadijah died, Khala binti Hakim, who was the wife of Othman bin Mazun, came to him and said,
O Rasulallah, will you not marry?
With whom?
A maiden, if you like, or a non-maiden.
Who is the maiden?
The daughter of the dearest creature of Allah to you,
What?
Aisha bint Abu Bakr.
And who is the non-maiden?
Sauda binti Zama. She has long believed in you and has followed you.
If the price of full-time filmmaker has kept you from instantly
Oh
improving the
yeah,
quality
y'all.
of your videos,
We had
I've
technical
made a
difficulties.
brand new
So
mini
what we're about
course
to do, man, we're about to
condensing our
help out this brother right
600+
here. You
video
know what I'm
course
saying?
into a
Give him some,
jam-packed.
you know what I'm saying? Get him some coins
Oh,
towards the
I
video.
would marry both of them.
Give him some
Why don't
coins.
you
Why
go to
not?
propose them on my behalf?
Yes, Rasulallah.
Aisha was only 6 years old, while Sauda was 52 years old. The reason for marrying Sauda was because he needed a mature woman to take care of his children
Makes
and to
sense.
do the household errands for him for free.
You got to be able to have the older woman take care of the younger women.
The reason for marrying Aisha was because he needed to tie the bond with his most adherent supporter, Abu Bakr, who was Aisha's father.
Disgusting.
The other reason was because he liked to have an intimacy with young girls. I will explain about this later. Khala went to Abu Bakr's house, where she found Ruman, mother of Aisha, and said,
O Ruman, what a good thing and a blessing has Allah brought to you.
"Oh, what is that?"
The messenger of Allah has sent me to ask for Aisha's hand in marriage on his behalf.
Hold on, y'all. Can y'all? Okay, so we already getting off to this point right here. The girl's 6 years old, y'all. 6 years old. If I'm not mistaken, brother saw her in a dream. I'm sure this is gonna pop up in the video somewhere down the line. But the brother saw her in a dream. He said, "You know what? I got a dream of this little baby in this like nice little basket with a little silk cover over her. And in that dream, I was like, ooh man, she looked real good. All however old she was, couldn't have been that old because she was in the basket somehow, some way, wrapped in like silk and whatnot. So he had a dream that he was going to marry this baby, and sure enough, he seen this baby when she was like 6 or something like that. His homie's baby girl, y'all. If this don't sound like a Housewives, Real Housewives of Islam show, I don't know what does. So this man seen this little baby, said, "Oh yeah, I want that." My homie's daughter looked good at 6. I already got me about a 52-year-old my age. I really don't like her though. She just cook and clean. She know how to do all that stuff. She wasn't Her fingers weren't strong enough to wipe off semen. So he ain't want the 52-year-old no more. She was well past the prime. All she could do is just like sweep and stuff. They ain't had the strong fingernails. Couldn't, help him out in that area. So that's what this brother's doing. This brother's saying, you know what? I need this 52-year-old for everything else, and I need these young ones. I need these young ones because, hey, why not? Allah says, Allah knows best, right? And that's what they're rocking with in Islam. That's what the right. How matter of fact, speaking of, how long ago was it? I mean, it still goes on today. I'm pretty sure, but how long ago was it that they had like that huge report of that like 8-year-old girl who she unfortunately passed away after her marriage with these with that Muslim fella. Like, she was like 8. It happened like 10 years ago, something like that. 10 years ago, and it's still happening to this day. But yet, this is what Islam's promoting, y'all. So basically, if you don't know this episode, this stream, what we doing here is just to get the low hanging fruit, and continuing to expose Islam. If you had not seen this video, again, shout out to Nabi. Follow that brother. All his descriptions to this video and some other videos are down below, and also his channel is down below. Rock with this brother because this brother does some crazy stuff, crazy content, exposing Islam. But let's get back to the video, y'all. Let's get back into it.
I ask that you wait for Abu Bakr, for he should be on his way.
When Abu Bakr came, Kala repeated what she had said.
Oh, I don't know. She is like his brother's daughter. Would she be appropriate for him?
Exactly. Sick.
Kala
Go back to him and say that he is my brother in Islam, and that I am his brother in Islam, so his daughter is good for me.
She came to Abu Bakr and told him what Prophet Muhammad had said.
Why don't you wait here? I have to meet Mutim bin Adi.
Oh, okay.
Abu Bakr went to Mutim's house.
Al-Mutim bin Adi had asked Aisha's hand for his son. But we cannot promise him anything yet.
Abu Bakr went to Mutim's house and met him and his wife. In the past, she had already asked Abu Bakr to let Aisha be married to her son.
O son of Abu Kuhafa, perhaps we could marry our son to your daughter, if you could make him leave his religion, and bring him into the religion which you practice.
What is she saying?
She says what you have heard.
What Mutim and his wife meant was they did not want their son to marry Aisha anymore after they found out that Abu Bakr was a Muslim. Abu Bakr left, realizing that Allah had just removed the problem he had in his mind. He said to Kala,
Call the messenger of Allah.
Set it up.
She called the Prophet and he
Get it
came
ready.
to meet Abu Bakr.
O Rasulullah, I decided to accept your proposal to marry my daughter, Aisha.
Thank you, Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr married Aisha to Prophet Muhammad when she was only 6 years old. At that time, the Prophet was 51 years old,
Let's go.
old enough to be her grandfather.
That's pop pop. That's pop pop. She would pop pop right now. That's just a baby.
Aisha, you were shown to me twice in my dream
Mhm.
before I married you. I saw an angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth. And I said to him, uncover her. And behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen.
This day prophet, y'all.
Whether Prophet
must happen.
Muhammad actually had such a dream or he
Couldn't
just
wait.
said
Had
it
it
to
happen.
please Aisha
6.
is not the point. What matters here is that it indicates that Aisha was a baby being carried by an angel when the Prophet dreamt of her. The question is, what kind of man dreams about marrying a baby?
Bro, I'm saying.
A year
Man.
later, Prophet
Oh, don't give it
Muhammad
to baby
and the
boy.
Muslims migrated
Oh.
from Mecca to Medina.
Well, you gotta make it as real as possible. That's how it was, unfortunately. Look at that silk press, though.
We
She
came
out
to
here
Medina
killing
and
the
my
game
dad,
with hair.
Abu Bakr, took up quarters in Al-Sunnah among the Banu al-Harith bin al-Khazraj.
Oh, that's creepy.
I and my friends used to play with the swing near my house.
Yeah, and they used to play with dogs. That was just a baby.
My mother came to me while I was being swung on a swing between two branches and got me down.
Aisha, stop now and come with me. Jemima, help me to prepare Aisha.
Aunt Jemima.
Yes, ma'am.
She was back then. Made that syrup.
What's going on, Mom?
You about to go get married off.
Jemima, my nurse, took over and wiped my face with some water. Jemima, what's going on? Why you need to prepare me? For what?
You will soon find out, Aisha.
She was just over there just being a kid, man.
I was then brought into my house. There were a lot of people there.
She was just being a kid, y'all.
Then I saw the messenger of God was sitting on a bed in our house. My mother made me sit on his lap and said,
These are your relatives. May God bless you with them and bless them with you.
Oh, that's creepy, y'all. Y'all know you ain't supposed to be doing that, y'all.
Then the men and women got up and left. The prophet married me when I was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when I was 9 years old.
Look at the references, y'all.
Sahih Bukhari, Volume 7, Book 62, Number 88.
Look at the references, y'all. The references is there. For all the Muslims that's out in the world, that's trying to lie about what your scholars are saying, what Aisha's saying, the references is there. And it's also in the Quran. It's also in the Quran. Not obviously they're marrying at this age, but the fact that you can, which we're gonna look into. We're gonna look into some of these references at the end of the video for sure. So, y'all ain't gotta just rely on, this brother's video, which is done amazingly, by the way. Amazingly done. But we ain't got to rely just on this because we're going to look at their sources. We're going to look at their sources. And also, I'm going to shout out Big Brother Sam Shamoon as well. Big Brother Sam Shamoon, because we're going to look at one of his articles because he has a bunch of articles. And he has like 6 or 7 of the sources right there. And I can just, look at them right there. It's real easy to find. So we're going to get into all that at the end. All of it. We're going to talk about, we're going to share, because this is what brothers and sisters in Islam rock with. Lord willing, they come up out of that, though. They still got time.
8. Narrated Ursa. The Prophet wrote the marriage contract with Aisha while she was 6 years old and consummated his marriage with her while she was 9 years old.
Disgusting.
Let's evaluate this famous case of Islamic child bride. Prophet Muhammad married Aisha when he was 51 years old, and Aisha was only 6. He consummated his marriage with Aisha when she was 9. But that does not mean he did not intimately touch Aisha before she reached 9 years old. According to Bukhari, the Prophet actually visited Aisha twice a day after he married with her.
Bruh. Did he do it?
I don't remember a single day passing without our house being visited by Rasul Allah in the morning and in the evening.
What did Prophet Muhammad do to Aisha before she reached 9 years old? We find the answer from Fatwa number 31409, dated the 7th of Jamada al-Ula, year 1421 Islamic calendar. This fatwa was produced by the Permanent Committee for Scientific Research and Religious Sanctions, Saudi Arabia.
They got the big sources out
there.
The
chairman is Abdulaziz bin Abdullah bin Muhammad al-Sheikh. Member 1, Bakr bin Abdullah Abu Zaid. Member 2, Salah bin Fawzan al-Fawzan. The fatwa was the answer for the following question number 1809.
I want to buy your house.
Do you?
I can pay you cash for your house.
Say what?
No matter what condition it's in.
Oh well.
It has become widespread these days, and especially during weddings, the habit of mufakatat of the children. What is the opinion of scholars, knowing full well that the Prophet, the peace and prayer of Allah be upon him, also practiced the thighing of Aisha, the mother of believers, may Allah be pleased with her?
What do they say?
So this man asking about mufakatha or thighing that Prophet Muhammad did toward Aisha, before Aisha reached 9 years old. What is mufakatha or thighing? According to Mujam Lughat al-Fuqaha or Dictionary of Islamic Legal Terminology, page 445, thighing or mufakatha means shoving the male genital between the thighs of a woman.
That's crazy. That's crazy, y'all.
It has not been the practice of the Muslims throughout the centuries to resort to this unlawful practice that has come to our countries, from pornographic movies that the kuffar and enemies of Islam send. As for the Prophet, peace and prayer of Allah be upon him, thine his fiancée Aisha. She was 6 years of age and he could not have intercourse with her, due to her small age. That is why the Prophet, peace and prayer of Allah
Made it
be
3
upon
years,
him,
huh?
placed his male member between her thighs and massaged it softly, as the Apostle of Allah had control of his male member, not like other believers.
So, according to this fatwa, Prophet Muhammad couldn't do coitus with Aisha since she was too small. Therefore, to satisfy his twisted desire, he did the mufakatha to her.
And that's what the scholars are saying, huh? That's cool.
How about that? A 51-year-old man did this to a 6-year-old girl.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna front with the type of dude Muhammad is with all his insecurities or whatnot. I doubt that that's a good representation. No disrespect, but I doubt with all the things that he's been going on about how he just goes about killing folks for whatever reason, which we're gonna watch tomorrow. How he goes about just sleeping with children and just coming up with all these different surahs that come out of nowhere when he gets told no or he makes oaths and then he breaks them. The type of mentality he has seems like if you put in nowadays standard, he'd be trying to drive a fast sports car. No disrespect to the folks out there that's driving a fast sports car, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So I don't know if that's an accurate representation, but hey, it is what it is. We're gonna get back to the video though. We're gonna get back to the video. And oh yeah, the sources are there, y'all. The sources are there. Check them out. Look them up. Write them down. Pen, paper, popcorn, y'all. Pen, paper, popcorn. Get all this out so that y'all can know. And these Muslims out here that are going to be watching later on, or if there's a couple of them in this chat right now, this is what y'all promote. This is what y'all rock with.
To this day, Muslims consider this as a benevolent act on the part of the adult male not wanting to harm her.
Just don't be with her then.
Seriously?
Wait till she
What
turns
harm could be
21.
inflicted upon a young girl mentally and emotionally if not a grown man showing her his manhood and rubbing it between her legs? Fatwa number 92051 also explains about the mufakatha.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you explain to me the thing called thaying, also pronounced mufakatha?
All perfect praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. I testify that there is none worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is his slave and messenger. We ask Allah to exalt his mention as well as that of his family and all his companions. The term mufakatha means to have foreplay with the wife between her thighs. It is reported in one narration that when the Prophet wanted to enjoy one of his wives who was in menstruation, he would put a piece of cloth on her vagina to cover it. This is from Sunan ibn Majah hadith. The author of Fayyad al-Qadir interpreted the expression, if he wanted to enjoy, to mean having all permissible foreplay, but avoiding the vagina, or the anus, like in between her thighs, which is mufakatha. Allah knows best.
That's crazy.
He said that this information is based on Ibn Majah hadith about Prophet Muhammad approaching his wife.
So they actually got different ways that you can sleep and be with and creep on and touch on your child bride. That's crazy. They came up with ways so that they can try to justify, try to make it moral that, man, well, since the Quran says this and because Allah did that, man, this is how we got to go about it. That's crazy that they really have to come up with these different rulings on what you can do in these manners because of a child being too small, because of a child being a child. That's crazy, y'all. But now just imagine, I'm pretty sure these rules don't there's a girl I went to school with when I was in 5th grade. I was in 5th grade, she was in 5th grade. We went to school like 3rd and 4th grade together. At her age, and we're in the same grade, she was probably a year older than me because I was usually always one of the youngest ones. She was a legit 5'7", big girl, 5'7" in 5th grade. So just imagine, there's a lot more other, girls like that just grow tall. So just imagine that this probably does not even apply to them. Still got the same mentality, still got the same childhood, but yet because they're quote unquote bigger and can potentially, deal with these fat, greasy Muslim perverts on top of them, it's all right. It's permissible. They don't have to go by these little rulings. That's crazy. That is quite ridiculous. This is Islam.
While she was having a period. We can find the Ibn Majah hadith from the Encyclopedia of Islam. This is Hadith Sunan Ibn Majah, number 628. The left one is in Indonesian, and the right one is in Arabic. The translation of the Arabic version says, Aisha says, when one of us menstruated, the Prophet, may God's prayers and peace be upon him, ordered her to gird herself with a loincloth, then he had intercourse with her.
Bruh. I need to get that
This
Sneeko
hadith
clip
explains
right
that
here.
Prophet Muhammad used to have intercourse with Aisha whilst she was on her period, but not through vagina because that is haram during menstruation. Which means Prophet Muhammad did the mufakatha with Aisha's thighs. We can see the same message in Bukhari number
Man,
31245.
this brother got all the sources.
This
Bringing
is
them
the
out.
Arabic version. This is the English translation of the hadith. On the authority of Maymuna, she says that the Messenger of God, may God's prayers and peace be upon him, if he wanted to have sexual intercourse with one of his wives.
And see right there, that is exactly what happens when you groom somebody, especially a little girl, any child. When you groom them and you just grow up, and then this is what you think has to be the case because of this dude who's supposedly, running, robbing caravans and has this money and is killing these folks. You grow up in this, and the idea is still, ah man, but peace be upon him. But peace be upon him. That's crazy, y'all. That's that hurt. That's that, man, I know her mental health had to be wrecked back then. I know it. That is, mm, mm, mm.
Wives, she should wear a garment while she was menstruating. How could the Prophet had intercourse with his wife during menses? By doing the mufakatha. This is fatwa number 777718, also about the mufakatha.
Please don't scroll. Listen to me.
I'm sorry. I got
My
you.
name is Hiba from
I can't do it.
and I'm supposed to be studying for
Well, get to it
medical school
then.
final exams in
You got to get some technical difficulties again. What? Give it a little bit. We about to see what's going on. All right, we should be good. Oh, let's see. Let's see. How's it looking on your guys' end? Is it looking all right before we get this thing going? Is it looking good on y'all end? Can y'all hear me clearly? Am I stuttering or is the audio coming through? Let me know. Okay, I think we should be good now. Let's see, should be good.
What's the ruling on thigh-ing minors?
If the question refers to the thigh-ing of a minor man, then this is permissible. But if the question refers to the thigh-ing of a non-wife, then it's forbidden, whether it's the thigh-ing of a minor or an adult, a male or a female.
Let's see the explanation from Ghada Jamshir about the practice of mufakatha in the Middle East countries. Ghada Jamshir was a Bahraini women's rights activist and an ardent campaigner for the reform of Sharia courts in Bahrain and the Arab Gulf states.
غادة جمشير سنية وبالتالي هي ترفع اللواء ضد زواج مقرر شرعا عند الشيعة.
مقرر شرعا؟
عند الشيعة مقرر شرعا.
الشريعة الإسلامية أقرت المتعة اللي بهذه التصنيفة اللي أنا بقولها لك. التمتع بالمفاخذة، عندهم التمتع بالملامسة، زين، التمتع بالمكاعبة، التمتع بالصغيرة. التمتع بالصغيرة تعرف شنو معناتها؟ معناتها يتمتعون بالطفل اللي عمرها 2 3 سنين 4 سنين.
طيب عشان ما ندخل بس في
التمتع
تفصيلات.
بالمفاخذة هذه ضد حقوق الطفل، هذا يعتبر اعتداء جنسي على الطفل.
Let them know, sis.
يعني
Let them know.
التمتع بالمفاخذة شنو ذي؟ التمتع بالرضيعة معناته ذي. زين، الرضيعة يعني كم عمرها؟ سنة ونص، أشهر. يعني هل يعقل رجل بالغ يمارس الجنس مع طفلة رضيعة؟
بس
وتقولون لي الشريعة الإسلامية أحلت هذه الأمور؟ خل المتعة، المسيار، شنو معنات المسيار؟ تقول أنا سنية.
According to Ghada Jamshir, There's several practices done by adult husbands to their young wives.
All disgusting.
Altamatu bil al-mufakaza. Altamatu bil al-mukaaba. Altamatu bil al-sajira. Altamatu bil al-radia. Can it be crazier than this, folks?
Nah.
And this is all related to Islam and what Muhammad did to Aisha. Ayatollah Khomeini, the founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran, wrote in his book Tahrir al-Wasila, Volume 2, page 216, about this practice with prepubescent children.
A man can carry out all the sexual pleasures he desires on his bride, even if she is just a baby.
Whoa.
He is entitled to thigh her, that is...
Hold on. Hold on. This is where Daniel Hachikachu must be getting what his thought process is from. They're scholars saying that it's all right to be with the baby. So now so really, actually, in all actuality, again, even if we go back to the Quran and the verse that we're going to read eventually, it says the women that are too young to menstruate. So technically, and Allah's eternal word, that would be talking about babies as well. Wow. This is crazy. See, I've always heard the arguments, and I know, and I've read, excuse me, the different tafsirs on it, and obviously the Quran verse in itself. But to hear so much, and then actually when you're actually watching this, even though it is a digital video, and hearing like, yo, that was a baby for real, like that was a child, and hearing that voice, and then and watching this, it makes it that much. It's kind of like if you remember, if you're somebody who's like into sports, like it's bad. Like when we heard about Ray Rice like knocking out his wife, it was bad, obviously. But then when you see it, it just has an extra level of, man, what in the world is going on? Just like another example, if you heard somebody like, oh man, I broke my leg, but then you actually see somebody break the leg, the actual pain that you receive by seeing that. This is what it's like watching this. Even though again it is a digital video, it's like that pain of what it is that she was going through, and just the fact that all these babies throughout the Islamic world has been and continue to go through this. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Placing his male member between her thighs, heavily kiss her, grope her body with full of lust, and so on.
Does this sound like a religious guidance or satanic perversion?
Got to be from Satan. Got to be. It's the only thing that makes sense.
So, when Prophet Muhammad visited me every day, you know what he did to me.
If he could do something like that every single day to a little girl, he would not hesitate to go further and violate the child before she was a mature adult. This is exactly what Muhammad did to Aisha when she was yet a child of 9. Before she reached puberty, he began to have intercourse with her.
I used to play with the dolls in the presence of the Prophet. And my girlfriends also used to play with me.
And see, this is one of the things that these hadiths that you bring to people. When you bring these hadiths to people that don't even know, and I said this a couple times, and I think I even said it back to back on both my last 2 live reactions. When it comes to the fact that you can say, hey, yo, would you support this, or would you say that this is good when it comes to being with a prepubescent girl? They will, to a man, say no. And even a woman, they'll say, I wouldn't want that to happen to my child. But then when you actually show them the proof that it's okay in the Quran and it's okay in all these hadiths, to a man, they'd be like, well, Allah knows best. He knows best. You know what I'm saying? She was, again, probably old enough back then. People mature faster. But then you show them a verse like this where it talks about she was still playing with dolls. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, thinking about back to the arguments from Brother Guy Logic and also Brother Sam Shamoon and others that talk about the moral corruptness of Islam, is the fact that dolls are idols, and past a certain age, you can't play with dolls. And if you can't play with dolls, that means she wasn't mature at the time that she was married. So, but then when you show them that, they'll still just default to Muhammad, or excuse me, Allah knows best. Well, technically, shoot, Muhammad and Allah knows best, because they, the same God, really, the same devil. That's what they are. And it's just crazy that you can see just the man, you tell a Muslim this is what it is. They don't believe you. You show them and they're still like, "Oh, whatever. Well, hey, it was just a different time or it was this or it was that." Crazy to think about. She out here playing with little dolls, playing with her little kid friends, was swinging when she got picked up earlier in the video, and now we back here playing with dolls. That's
When Allah's apostle used to enter my dwelling place, they used to hide themselves.
exactly, Carol. That's it.
But the Prophet would call them to join and play with me.
According to Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani in his Hadith explanation, Plug.Albert, page 143, the playing with the dolls and similar images is forbidden, but it was allowed for Aisha at that time, as she was a little girl, not yet reached the age of puberty. Muslims usually argue that Muhammad just following his culture and tradition at his time, and that marrying a girl as young as 9 years old was an accepted norm of the Arab culture. If that is true, then Muhammad was a product of a sick society.
Facts.
If he was as a genuine prophet of God, he would have guided his people to abolish that sick tradition instead of participated in it.
Facts.
Marrying children was not part of the culture of any nation. It is actually contrary to human nature. Healthy grown-up men only have parental feelings toward young children. The point is that Muhammad was not mentally healthy.
Go support that brother. Go support that brother. He's doing great work, putting out the truth, got the sources. He's not playing around. That's crazy, y'all. That is crazy of what's going on in there, in Islam. What Islam promotes, what they're, uh, a lot of them don't even know. And then the articles at the end too. I think one of the articles was the one I was talking about. It was like 10 years ago. It was like she died like right after, like 3 days after, because of internal bleeding, excuse me, from her relationship with her grown man husband, and she was 8 years old. 8 years old. That is crazy, y'all. That is crazy. And there's still articles and there's still videos now that you can see on YouTube and wherever else that still show these young little girls being uh, 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 married off to these old dudes in these different countries that don't have the same laws or follow Sharia law and things of that nature. But yet, they'll say and they'll scream women rights. They'll scream women rights. But real quick before we get back into, because what I'm going to try to do, hopefully, is we're going to probably watch part 2 real quick tonight. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get to it. Okay, we had some difficulties, but I think we muscled through that. I think we was able to muscle through, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to muscle through the next one as well. But before we get to the next one, we're just gonna go straight to the source too, y'all. We're gonna go straight to the source, so they can't say that it's it's just a law or something like that. No, this comes straight from Allah's mouth, the eternal word of Allah. This is where this is coming from, y'all. And this is how we know that what they practice is crazy. This is how we know, because again, it's coming from the eternal source of Allah, Allah's face, or his whatever he has that's connected to 2 left hands and a shin and a foot, and however many eyes he has. This is what's coming out of that. So it says, and we're gonna start at 65:4. Actually, let's go ahead and get some context because Muslims like to say, "Oh, y'all don't have no context." Let's get some context. Let's come read up here. Just gonna randomly, we're gonna couple verses up. Then, when they have almost reached the end of their waiting period, either retain them honorably or separate from them honorably, and call 2 of your reliable men to witness. Either way, and let the witnesses bear true testimony for the sake of Allah. But are they really, though? Are they really going to do that? Probably not. This is enjoined on whoever has faith in Allah in the last day, and whoever is mindful of Allah, he will make a way out for them, and provide them from sources they could never imagine. And whoever puts their trust in Allah, then he alone is sufficient for them. Certainly, Allah achieves his will. Allah has already set a destiny for everything. As for your women, past the age of menstruation, so these are for the old folks, you know what I'm saying, that they don't do that no more. They don't do this no more because they're old. And, when you get to a particular age, when you're seasoned, that's just a part of the function that doesn't happen because, you're not going to be able to have kids anymore and whatever else goes into that. I'm not going to act like I'm a doctor and act like I truly know everything, but I just know that that's part of the cycle of women. In case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months, and those who have not menstruated as well. For those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery, and whoever is mindful of Allah, He will make their matters easy for them. So, where we at here? So, in case you don't know, their waiting period is 3 months, and those who have not menstruated as well. And then, unfortunately, people will say like, "Oh man, well this is for the sick people because there's certain things where people start late." Nah, bruh, that's not the case. That's not the case. So, how do we know it's not the case? Well, one, we done seen all the brothers' sources earlier, but we're also going to just go ahead on and jump into one of the best sources. You know what I'm saying? Ibn Kathir. We're going to just read Ibn Kathir so we know. Ida. Man, I hate that word. It's a fun word to say, but man, I hate it because it's disgusting with, especially in this particular context of what we're reading. So it says, Allah the Exalted clarifies the waiting period of women in menopause, and that is the one whose menstruation has stopped due to her older age. Her Iddah is 3 months instead of the 3 monthly cycles for those who menstruate, which is based upon the ayah in Surah Baqarah or Al Baqarah 22228. The same for the young, and this is again their scholar here, Ibn Kathir. And again, it's not just Ibn Kathir. We can probably go to Al Tabari. We can probably go to Al Jalalain. If I'm not mistaken, brother did go to at least Al Jalalain in his particular verse that he was going into. But so the same for the young who have not reached the years of menstruation. The young who have not reached the years. So meaning they're not old enough to. So you got the old folks that can't no more, and you got the young folks that haven't started yet. Aisha fit that category of the ones who haven't started yet. So when they say and they try to be like, oh well, Aisha's not 6, she was 18, or Islam doesn't promote this. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And then you got your, your Quran only, but then, we can get a lot when it comes to Quran only and just completely if you're Quran only, man, it's really easy to debunk what it is that you believe anyway. But be that as it may, for those who are not, we got the sources, we got your people, and then again, if we remember and watch all that video back and see all the sources that brother brought, it's all right there. It's all right there. So the same for the young who have not reached the age or the years of menstruation. Not reached the age, y'all. That's where we're at. That's where we're at in Islam. God bless everybody for pulling up. We're about to get into part 1A. We're going to see if that's going to work out. We're going to see what that gets to us. And again, shout out to the brother Nabi. And I promise I'm not purposely trying to mispronounce his brother's name. But for Nabi uh, Asli, my bad. But you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to, I rock with you, even though I can't pronounce your name, bruh. I rock with you. But we're going to get into it and we're going to see part 2 because, it's a 3-part series. We're going to get all the information that we can get in, y'all. We're going to get all the information we can get in. Also, for those who are just now tuning in, if you didn't know, his links to everything is in the description down below. To 3 of the videos that have to deal with Aisha and Muhammad are down below, and his actual channel is down below. So check him out and see. Look, we got Womb to Apologetics right here. Sub to him. Amen. He's putting in a lot of work. I can only imagine how hard it is and how much time it takes to actually create these videos. Must take a lot. So shout out to this brother. That's talent. And again, he's using it to expose Islam, expose the lies, expose the nonsense. So that's what we're here for as well. We're here to expose Islam so that, Lord willing, you break down their walls, you break down their defenses, you show that, man, for the people who actually have some heart left in their chest, for those people that still got some heart left in their chest, hopefully they see these arguments and be like, hey, yo, see what their Quran says, see what their sources say, see what their scholars say, be like, hey, this ain't right. I gotta find the way, the truth, and the life. And it ain't in Islam. It is not in Islam. But we about to get up in here. We about to see what's going on. Hey, brother, here I am, Semi Lords live. Hey, shout out to brother Adam. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what's they talking about. Part 2. Hey. Look, the sources right there, y'all. Get them sources, write them down. You see them. You see them. And shout out Lord Dijon. I actually follow that brother too. Crazy with the work. Follow him. Follow him. Look at that. Sahih Muslim. Tafsir al-Tabari. It's all there. It's all there. Pen, paper, popcorn.
To be sure that Prophet Muhammad wasn't the only one who is allowed to marry a prepubescent girl, Allah revealed Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4. And if you are in doubt as to the prescribed period for such of your women as have despaired of monthly courses, then know that the prescribed period for them is 3 months, and also for such as do not have their monthly courses yet. And as for those who are with child, their period shall be until they are delivered of their burden. And whoso fears Allah, He will provide facilities for him in his affair.
It's not good, y'all.
The following story is from Tafsir Tabari, about the event behind the revelation of Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4.
One day, Prophet Muhammad chatted with his companions. As usual, the topic of conversation was about women and sexual intercourse.
This is Allah's law regarding iddat, which is waiting period of a female must observe before she can remarry.
You got it, Ida.
Allah said in Quran that a Muslima has to wait for 3 months before she can remarry. This is important to be sure that she is not pregnant with her previous husband when she remarry.
One of Prophet's companions named Ubay ibn Ka'b asked a question.
O Rasul Allah, there are some females that you do not mention about their iddah, such as old women, small girls, and pregnant women.
Oh, okay then. Here is Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4. And as for those of your women, who have despaired of menstruation, which are old women, if you have a doubt, their prescribed time shall be 3 months. And of those too who have not had their courses, which are little girls who are too young to have menstruation, their waiting period shall also be 3 months. And as for the pregnant women, their term the conclusion of their prescribed waiting period, if divorced or if their spouses be dead, shall be when they deliver. And whoever fears God, He will make matters ease for him in this world and in the hereafter.
Can y'all believe this though? Can y'all believe that this is what Allah decided to write in His revelation, His final revelation? Apparently, He said, "You know what? We got to talk about what it's like to be with these little girls." And I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure. If you know the history, let me know. If you're a Muslim and you want to let me know the history, let me know the history. But did these verses come after or before He decided to see that little baby Aisha in his dream and be like, I need that. I need that. He probably didn't even really see her in a dream too, because what's crazy, if they was homies from a while back, he obviously seen her. So it wasn't a dream, because I don't know if you know this, but word on the street is we can't really, you know, create faces in our heads. That like if you've ever dreamt about somebody, if you ever had a dream about somebody and you never saw them, at least consciously, you actually probably seen them just stored in your subconscious. They was either on a movie or you just seen them walking and passing, or a picture of something. But we can't create faces on our own. So what probably had happened was Muhammad seen little baby Aisha, when she was 2, 3, however old, however long Abu Bakr and him's been homies for. And when he had that thought and when he seen her, he had a dream about her because he's sick, twisted, perverted, demon possessed, like brother it's just your boy Jay talked about earlier in the comments. And probably a bunch of other people, which we're gonna get into tomorrow, by the way, and being demon possessed. So then he had these nasty thoughts come up about this little baby girl. And then he was like, all right, bet. So I got these nasty thoughts, little baby girl, she gonna be mine. Let me go ahead on and cover my tracks and make sure I get these verses out so don't nobody think I'm, bad, because Allah knows best. But I don't know for sure if that's how I did. I don't know if that's how it went, but it sounds like it to me. I think I can put 2 and 2 together, and that's what it sounds like. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But either way, it's still disgusting, and you shouldn't be having no kids come out to play, Muhammad. That's crazy. He can't be by no school zones, nothing. I bet his grave ain't even allowed to be by no school zones. Like they won't even bury him near no schools. They'd have to if they did that, have to dig him right back up and send him 200 or 200 miles away or however long you're supposed to be from schools.
From Prophet Muhammad's explanation, we understand that the sentence for such as do not have their monthly courses yet is about little girls who are too young to have menstruation. This means a Muslim can marry a girl at any age, from a day old to older. Yes, with Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4, the Prophet declared that there is no age limit to marry a girl in Islam.
Sick.
This information is emphasized in Sharia logbook titled Reliance of the Traveler or Umdat al-Salik, one of the most renowned classical manuals of fiqh, in page 567, law number N9.2. A waiting period is obligatory for a woman divorced after
Bruh.
intercourse, whether the husband and wife.
Bruh. Bruh. This is crazy. This is crazy. Actually, I know of a dude who's on TikTok. His name's Travis Lee. And he bought these books because you can't really find them online like that. So he bought all of these books, like these jurisprudence books and all these Islamic law books. It's crazy. What I need to do is I need to have him come on here and share and show these sources because he has all these sources too. And man, it's out there. The crazy thing is it's out there, but yet Muslims just don't care about it. They say, we grow up here, especially if they're in the States. They say we grow up here, man, we ain't really trying to hear all that. We believe in one God because it makes sense to us. And, depending on what it is that you like, if you're a Muslim man, well, I got four wives, or it supposedly helps us with discipline a little bit more than any other religion. Or, we get to be it's simple. It's simple for them, so they like it. It's simple for them, so they like it. And or they hear the ridiculous claims that aren't true, like the scientific miracles or the perfect preservation, all this other stuff. So, but man, all this, no religion on earth, I don't think, harms themselves more than Islam does. But when we think about where it comes from an illiterate man. So it's actually really not that hard to think about when it comes to why it just refutes itself internally, externally, everywhere, because the man who created it.
Wife are prepubescent, have reached puberty, or one has and the other has not. Number N9.9 reads, the waiting period for a woman who does not menstruate, whether prepubescent or postmenopausal, is 3 months.
Shout out Carol.
We can clearly see here that, in Islam, marriage to prepubescent girls is allowed and regulated, with divorce rules for such little girls in operation.
Get the sources, y'all. Right.
The implication of this law can be very damaging physically for underage girls, and this is acknowledged in the same book, page 592. The indemnity for bodily injuries. A full indemnity is also paid for injuries which paralyze these members, or for injuring the peritoneal wall between vagina and rectum so they become one aperture. What does this mean, guys? This is a medical anatomy model of a girl's lower body part.
This is graphic.
The forced penetration by an adult man to the underage girl causes her small vagina to rupture and rip apart, up to her rectum. You can imagine the pain that the little girl suffers because of this action. This is another Sharia book titled Heavenly Ornaments or Bahishti Ziwar that also mentions this type of injury. The paragraph talks about ghusl or washing ritual after having sex. If a woman is underage, but not so small, that if one has intercourse with her, there is a fear of the vaginal tissues tearing, to such extent.
This is sickening. This is in their law books. This is in their law books. But again, we got to understand, why is it in their law books? Because it's in their Quran. The Quran states it's all right, so then they have to create laws around it because that's what their belief is, because Allah's word is eternal to them. So this is what they got to run with. They got to create all these things and make it okay for these old men to be like, yeah, if we harm them, if we do these things, hey, we got to make sure that there's something that makes it look not as bad. It looks like we're taking care of them. That's what it looks like. Come on, man. This is any means necessary, expose the lies of Islam. any means necessary when it comes to the hard truth. I don't like to hear about this stuff. I hate it. It's disgusting. I don't really like talking about it. I don't really like bringing this up. Like it's my last resort. Like when people talk crazy in the comments, it's like the last thing I go to. Last thing I go to. But it's just sickening. But we got to do what we got to do to make sure that. And then also when you expose this and you see the people that just don't care, you see what type of people they really are, which is another thing that's eye opening. But even though that may be the case, we still got breath. Not only do we need to expose Islam, but we also still need to preach the truth of the gospel, so that hopefully these lost souls that rock with this or that are ignorant to this and rock with it unknowingly come to know the truth and get out these ways.
Extent that the vagina and anus will virtually come together. Then, by the insertion of the glands of the penis into her vagina, ghusl will become fard on the man, if he has reached the age of puberty. However, if there is the aforementioned fear, in a very minor girl, then mere insertion of the penis does not render ghusl obligatory. This means that if the man is an adult, and he is worried that inserting his genital to a prepubescent girl, or an infant or a baby girl, can cause the tearing of the vagina to the anus, then just insert the head of his penis. This is really sick.
Facts.
We can read a similar explanation from another Sharia book titled A Digest of Muhammadan Law, Part 2, translated by Neil Bailey. This is about the marriage law in Islam, page 26. When a man has had sexual intercourse with a girl under the age of 9 years, and has ruptured the parts. You know what parts we are talking about here. It is her vagina, tearing apart because of what the adult man did to her. It is unlawful for him to have further connection with her, but she is not released from her ties, if connected with him by marriage or slavery. This means that if the vagina ruptures, then the man should not continue the coitus. But that doesn't mean that the girl can divorce the man, if the man is her husband, or that the girl is free if the man is her slave master. If no rupture has taken place, the prohibition is not incurred according to the most valid opinion. This means that if no rupture happens, then the man can go ahead to continue with the coitus.
Bruh.
The fact that the rupture incident is mentioned repeatedly in many Sharia books means that such horrific accidents happen often during child marriages. Islamic law doesn't protect the safety or uphold the honor of little girls.
No, it doesn't.
Quran, Surah Al-Talaq, verse 4, opens up opportunities for sexual predators to destroy numerous small girls, morally and physically, since 1400 years ago up to now.
That's all it does is wreck them. Wreck them. That's all it does, y'all. That's all it does. Wreck them. And there's people that champion it. People that champion it. Even the ones that find out what it is that Islam is and what they do. That's crazy, y'all. That is crazy. All right, before we get into the third one, before we get into the third video, again, we're rocking with Nabi, Nabi. Shout out to that brother. Rocking with him. The descriptions to his videos are down below. The description to his channel's down below. If you don't rock with him, you need to rock with him because he has more videos. Actually, have a couple reactions to other videos that he's done on this channel. We've reacted to the camel pee. We reacted to that. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that one. That was hilarious. Reacted to the camel pee one. What other ones did we react to? I don't remember. There was 2 of them though that we reacted to, if I'm not mistaken, on this channel. And then tomorrow at lunchtime, 11 or 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if that's when you're on lunch, come rock out with your boy because we're gonna be reacting to 2 more of Nabee's videos. The 2 videos that we're gonna be reacting to is the Muhammad being bewitched, and also the fact that you can lie in Islam. Those are the 2 videos that because we're going to be on this moral train of Islam, this moral corruptness. So today, obviously, we're getting into the fact that he's 50 some odd years old and was able to marry this 6-year-old and consummate at 9, and between the ages of 6 and 9 was doing all that other foul stuff by putting stuff between the legs and just playing with that and all that other nasty stuff and all the different law books that say, oh yeah, it's fine. Oh yeah, it's fine in Islam. We can do that, no doubt. All that fun stuff. But so we're gonna get in that and then continue the moral train tomorrow. But with that being said, we're gonna go back into, actually, I think we're just gonna go straight into the next episode. We're gonna go straight into the next episode, and then, once we get into that next episode, we'll watch that, and then we'll break down, an article from the brother Sam Shamoon that also deals with this, that has a bunch of other sources, that we're gonna get into as well. So, hopefully you guys, again, get ready to put down these sources, write these sources, 'cause this is sad. If you don't know, this is Islam, y'all. This is what they allow. It's not just something about, oh, the time frame. No. It's in Allah's words, his eternal book, the Quran. It states that this is fine. It states that this is fine. So it's not like something that, they did back then. It's something that you're supposed to continue to do, which is nonsense, which is crazy. But we're about to get into episode 3, y'all. Episode 3, we're about to get into it. We're about to enjoy it. We're about to learn from it. It's a 4-minute video, so hey, get your pen, popcorn, and paper ready. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Let me get back to there. My fault, y'all. My fault, y'all. Let's get back. Here we go. Hey, crazy with the beat, though. Muhammad is a freak, bro.
It has been 3 years, but the Prophet hasn't consummated his marriage yet with
What's up,
Aisha.
brother Justin?
Yeah, I wonder why.
I think because Aisha is too skinny.
I see. Should we fatten her up then?
Sick.
Yes, that's a good idea.
That's your pops. That's your pops.
My mother wanted me to gain some weight before going to the home of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nothing benefit me.
And see, this is what we was talking about earlier. This is what we was talking about earlier when it comes to what they can allow. Because if she's bigger, if she's grown a little bit, if she got some size to her, then you can go ahead on and get that ida in real quick. You ain't gotta wait once you get her up there. This is what they're trying to do right now. This is what they're trying to do. Plump her up so she can take the pumps. So she can take the pedophile pumps. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. That her parents are like, hey, yo, let's just do what we got to do. We homies with them. Let's keep this thing going. We got a good thing going here. This is sick, y'all. This is stuff that you see in movies, but you don't think it's real life. But really, a lot of these movies come from real life. And this brother right here, this sick, twisted ideal that people still rock with to this day and still say, hey, we got to still come up with excuses for it. And thank God my eyes are open to the truth. And it ain't this.
Until she fed me cucumber and fresh dates, which helped me gain weight nicely.
This is the commentary of Sahih Muslim, Volume 3, page 577, regarding the time for a child bride to withstand intercourse. As for the time a young married girl goes to her husband to do sexual intercourse, it is permissible at any time, given there is no harm to the girl, and both the husband and the girl's guardian approve. According to Ahmed Hanbali, if they disagree, then she is forced to join her husband at 9 years old. This means that when Prophet Muhammad and Abu Bakr agreed that Aisha was ready to have coitus, then the Prophet could do it right away, regardless of her age and whether she consented or not. This is nothing but rape.
Nothing but.
A fiqh book titled Rad al-Mudir ala al-Dur al-Mukhtar, Volume 5, page 283, says, withstanding penetration means being able to withstand it from a penis or another object in breaking the hymen. This cannot be determined by a minimum age. For example, fat girls can withstand intercourse even if they were very young. How do they know about this? Did they do some tests with some fat and not so fat very young girls? This is also the reason why Abu Bakr and his wife fattened up Aisha, so she could withstand the first intercourse. Abu Bakr and his wife became bad parents because they followed blindly the very bad, perverted Prophet. Had Aisha already reached her puberty when Prophet Muhammad consummated his marriage with her?
Not at all.
In Islam, a girl who already reaches her puberty is considered as a mature person and will have to comply with Sharia Islam to the fullest. She won't be allowed to play with her dolls anymore, since dolls resemble images that are haram in Islam. Sahih Muslim 1422 c. Aisha reported that Allah's apostle married her when she was 7 years old, and she was taken to his house as a bride when she was 9, and her dolls were with her, and when he, the Holy Prophet, died she was 18 years old. Sunan Abu Dawud 4932. Narrated Aisha, Umm al-Mu'minin. When the messenger of Allah arrived after the expedition to Tabuk or Khaybar, the draft raised an end of a curtain which was hung in front of her storeroom, revealing some dolls which belonged to her.
What is this?
You know, my dolls.
That voice still gets me. It's crazy.
What is this I see among them?
That's a horse.
What is this that it has on it?
2 wings.
A horse with 2 wings?
Have you not heard that Solomon had horses with wings? Thereupon the messenger of Allah laughed so heartily that I could see his molar teeth.
The hadith from Sunan Abu Dawud and Muslim explained that when Aisha lived in the Prophet's house, she still played with her dolls. This means that Aisha was still a prepubescent girl when the Prophet started to consummate his marriage with her.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Again, if you are not following this brother Nabi, go follow him. Go support him. Go do what you can to help that brother out because he made these videos, and these videos are crazy. Crazy, filled with the truth, filled with nothing but their sources. So then people can't say that he made it up. He got the sources. He seen them. He showed the books, the pages, everything. Everything. He wasn't playing around. He wasn't playing around, which we don't need to. They did all the work. They're the ones who wrote this stuff. Again, their Quran states it. They backed it up. They backed it up. So for y'all Muslims out there that are still Muslim and this don't bother y'all, what's really going on? How old is your wife? Are you dropping your wife off at kindergarten? You shouldn't be. All across the world, y'all better stop messing around with this religion. And you say, oh well, it's at the time. It's not now. It's at the time. It don't happen no more. Again, your Quran states that it's all right. And if the Quran states it's all right for you, that's law. So how you gonna tell Allah that he's wrong? How you gonna tell Allah that it's only for that time period when he never said it was? You know better than Allah? You know better than your scholars? What's really going on? What's really going on? But anyway, before we get up out of here, we're gonna read our brother Sam Shamoon his article. We're gonna read his articles because his article has the sources, the same sources that we kind of looked into that was talked about. So we're just gonna see him again. We're gonna see him again, and we're just gonna rock out and read a couple of them. Read a couple of them also because I'm gonna be full transparent right now. Full transparency. I just don't look up all these. I ain't gonna lie, man. Typing in, especially if you've been rocking with your boy for a while, you seen me done type them in, and I get them wrong half the time. So, hey yo, this is an easy way to read them and just go forward. Cause your boy, you know what I'm saying. I'm just being real honest right now. I'm just lazy. I ain't trying to do all that. So shout out to my brother Sam Shamoon for actually doing these articles. And again, he put these articles for here for a reason. So why not get into them? Why not learn? You know what I'm saying? Why not read them? They're here for us. So I'm gonna read them, y'all. And again, we're gonna get into it. So just so you know, this is from answeringislam.com, by the way. Muhammad and Aisha revisited an examination of Muhammad's marriage to prepubescent girl and its moral implications to a prepubescent girl. So let's get on into Sa'ib al-Bukhari, narrated by Aisha. The Prophet engaged me when I was a girl of 6 years. We went to Medina and stayed at the house of that word. That word. Then I got ill and my hair fell down. Later on, my hair grew again, and my mother, Ruman, came to me while I was playing on a swing with some of my girlfriends. Actually, this is exactly how, what's crazy is, this is exactly how the first video started, if I'm not mistaken. No, it didn't. I think that got like to the middle of it when she was playing on the swing. She was playing on the swing, having a good time. Almost identical, though. Almost identical to the time frame, anyway, the first video that we watched. She called me, and I went to her, not knowing what she wanted to do to me. She caught me by the hand and made me stand at the door of the house. I was breathless then, and when my breathing became all right, she took some water and rubbed my face and head with it. Then she took me into the house. There in the house, I saw some Ansari women who said, "Best wishes and Allah's blessings and good luck." Then she entrusted me to them, and they prepared me for the marriage. Unexpectedly, Allah's apostle came to me in the forenoon, and my mother handed me over to him. And at that time, I was a girl of 9 years of age. 9 years of age. Sahih Al-Bukhari, Volume 5, Book 58, number 234. Let's keep reading. Narrated Hishim's father. Khadijah died 3 years before the Prophet departed to Medina. He stayed there for 2 years or so, and then he married Aisha when she was a girl of 6 years of age. And he consumed that, I think that's supposed to be consummated, that marriage when she was 9 years old. Sahih Bukhari, Volume 5, Book 58, number 236. Narrated Aisha. Allah's apostle said to me, "You were shown to me twice in my dream before I married you. I saw an angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and I said to him, 'Uncover her,' and behold, it was you. I said to myself, 'If this is from Allah, then it must happen.'" Ah, that's disgusting. All this is disgusting, really. Then you were shown to me the angel carrying you in a silken piece of cloth, and I said to him, 'Uncover her,' and behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. And we got narrated by Aisha again that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old and consummated his marriage. Wait a second. And he consumed that marriage and then he consummated. Okay, so obviously he meant consumed here. Okay. Okay. All right. That's just okay. And he consummated his marriage when she was 9. And then she remained with him for 9 years, i.e., till his death. And he got that aorta severed, or felt like anyway. He got that aorta just, Aisha, my aorta feels like it's being cut. Got that man up out of here. Got that man up out of here. So we can see the sources is here. The same sources that Brother Nabi's using, same sources that, Sam Shamoon's using. So I can't wait for the Muslims to try to come up and try to correct this. But really, I know better. They won't. What they'll say is, for those who don't know, what the Muslims will say is, well, what about Isaac? What about Isaac? He was grown. He married Rebecca. She was 3 years old. And then you'll be like, I bet. Show me the verse that says that. They won't do it. They'll point to Rabbi Rashi, one rabbi that was quoted in saying that Rebecca was 3 because apparently he just don't know how to read his particular books. And, his math wasn't mathing right that day. And he was jumping to conclusions that day. Jumping to conclusions. But they can't show you that, so they point that out. But then you go back and you say, okay, well, other sources from the time, different targums and rabbis even prior to him state that that's not the case. That she was older. So if we see in our books that no, she's not 3, and then we see in the verses that the true age, well, we don't see the true age, excuse me, but we also see throughout the scripture that you're not supposed to marry a woman until she's past the age or the flower of her youth, excuse me. We can follow and we can conclude that nah, you're not supposed to marry a 3-year-old in Christianity, but that's what they'll run to. That's what they'll run to, and then all you got to do is show them videos from Michael or Dr. Michael Brown or Inspiring Philosophy, who's broken that down, or Sam Shamoon, who's broken that down, or any other apologist who's broken down the fact that no, the scriptures does not say that. So please stop trying to justify your disgusting prophet and your disgusting God for allowing that to happen because you heard one rabbi or you read that one rabbi said this. And we don't even rock with rabbis like that unless they're brothers like Rabbi Ed, you know what I'm saying, or messianic rabbis. We don't mess with them little weird Jewish folks from back then. That little Rabbi Rashi, I don't rock with that dude. We don't rock with that brother. No, that's sicko. He's basically in the same boat as y'all if he thought that that was cool. And also, guess what? It's not the case. But we don't rock with the wrong things that our prophets do like y'all do. Muhammad do whatever he want to do wrong. Y'all say Allah know best. Y'all say Allah, he led him to do this, so it can't be wrong. That's what y'all do. Everything that goes against what it is that you would actually want done to you, Y'all rock with it. Y'all say that's fine because Allah and Muhammad did it. Don't let it be. Don't let it be. My brother, my sister, or anybody else though. But Allah can do it. Muhammad can do it. That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. We say, man, David messed up. Y'all say, good job, Momo. Way to marry that 6-year-old. Way to kill that man. Way to say that your man can go see that brother and lie to him and deceive him so he can kill him. Way to go have a man assassinated. Way to have these parties where Aisha, your 6-year-old bride, or probably 11 at the time, had to scrape semen off your clothes. Way to say that you can go ahead on and snort this period blood water and these dead dog, bodies and stuff, and snort that up. Way to snort it up. That's what y'all do. Y'all champion that. Y'all say that's cool. That's all right. But anyway, let's get back to some more of these readings. Again, Sahih Muslim. We got Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, reported, Allah's messenger, may peace be upon him, married me when I was 6 years old, and I was admitted to his house at the age of 9. She further said, we went to Medina and I had an attack of a fever for a month, and my hair had come down to the earlobes. Her mama, and that's sick too. Her mom and her pops was like, yeah, let's just go ahead on and fatten this girl up for this man. It's crazy. Came to me, and I was there at the time on a swing, along with my playmates. Also, see what Sahih Muslim is just doing is just champion Al Bukhari, because they also like to throw Al Bukhari under the bus. They like to throw Bukhari under the bus. So even Sahih Muslims agreeing too. Sahih Muslims agreeing too. So we see that right here. Took him to the door saying, ha ha, you know what I'm saying? Until the agitation of my heart was over, she took me to the house where he had gathered the women of Ansar. So, hey, both stories is lining up. They all blessed me and wished me good luck and said, may you have, uh, uh, wait, what am I? May you have, there we go, morning. Wait, no, I'm tripping. May you have, there we go, sharing good. She, my mother, entrusted me to them. They washed my head and embellished me, and nothing frightened me. Allah's messenger came there in the morning, and I was entrusted to him, married. Disgusting. Sunnah Abu Dawood. Aisha said, the apostle of Allah married me when I was 7 years old. See, he got his date wrong. He got his date. So what was it? 7 or 6. Somebody wasn't paying no never mind. Somebody wasn't listening. But either way, she was still a baby. The narrator, Suleiman, said, or 6 years. Oh, where'd that come from? Oh, they tried to get it right. Okay, so it's probably, yeah, it was 6. It was 6. He had intercourse with me when I was 9 years old. So either way, 6, 7, he did the do at 9. He tore that baby's heart out from 6 all the way to whenever she was, passed away. Lord willing, I don't know how she ended her life. Hopefully, she ended her life coming to know the Lord. Hopefully, the Lord had some mercy on her and revealed Himself to where that she wasn't, because she got, mm, she got, what's that called? Groomed. She got groomed. Shooting aside, when the hood rat, that's not what that says. When Hadrat, yeah, whatever. When Hadrat Aisha passed 9 years of marriage life, the holy prophet, fell into mortal sickness. Aisha was 18 years of age at the time when the prophet passed away, and she remained a widow for 48 years till she died at the age of 67. She saw the rules of 4 caliphs in her lifetime. She died on Ramadan, 58 AH, during the caliphate of Hudrat, that dude. I'll send an aside English translation with the Arabic text compiled by Imam Abu rendered into English. So we got the sources, y'all. The sources is there. The sources is there. And what's crazy is she had to live all that life by herself. She had to live all that life by herself because the prophet was like, you better not marry nobody else. I groomed you since you was a baby, and you gonna only be with me. You only gonna be with me because when you were a wee little in the carriage, I saw you. I got the vision. God told me this is what it is. Excuse me, not God. Allah told me this is what it is. and you better not ever. I had whoever I wanted, but you can't have nobody. I slept with people in your bed, and I told you I was never gonna do it again, and I did it again because Allah said so. But you better never do it. No. And the fact again that she probably didn't, I don't know for sure, but I'd venture to say she probably didn't, shows again just how washed she was and how groomed she was to the point where there was, man, probably hardly a return because of just how bad off she was being with that man for 9 odd years. Well, since she was a baby, really. Ibn Hisham. He married Aisha in Mecca when she was just a child of 7, and lived with her in Medina when she was 9 or 10. She was only she was the only virgin that he married. Her father, Abu Bakr, married her to him, and the apostle gave her 400 of their money. So we got that. Al-Tabari, so now we're getting to some tafsirs. And this year, also the messenger of God consummated the marriage with Aisha. This was in Dul, that 8 months after his arrival in Medina, according to some accounts, or in Shawwal. 7 months after his arrival, according to others, he had married her in Mecca 3 years before the Hajj, after the death of Khadijah. At that time, she was 6, or according to other accounts, 7. 6 or 7. So that's Al Tabari letting us know. Scholars letting us know. Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir. Yunus B. Stated that Hisham, okay, all these words, are these names. The messenger of God, married Aisha 3 years after the death of Khadijah. At that time of the contract, Aisha had been a girl of 6 when he married her. She was 9. The messenger of God died when Aisha was a girl of 18. 18. Ibn this fella. Next, the prophet married Aisha, daughter of those sick people, whom Allah has exonerated from above the 7 heavens. Ugh. So Allah said, you know what? You can marry this baby from the 7 heavens. I ordained it from the beginning that you can marry this baby sick. This is your wife. The prophet married Aisha during the lunar month of Shawwal when she was 6, and consummated the marriage in the first year after the Hajj. In the month, where am I at? In the month of Shawwal when she was 9. The prophet did not marry any virgin except Aisha, and the revelation never came to him while he was under the blanket with any of his wives, except Aisha. All right. Martin Lings. I don't know who this is, but we're going to read it anyway. During the same year that followed Khadijah's death, the prophet dreamed that he saw a man who was carrying someone wrapped in a piece of silk. The man said to him, "This is thy wife, so uncover her." The prophet lifted the silk, and there was baby Aisha. But Aisha was only 6 years old, and he had passed his 50th year. Moreover, Abu Bakr, that sick, twisted man too, had promised her to Mutim for his son Jubair. The prophet simply said to himself, if this is from Allah, he will bring it to pass. Meantime, Abu Bakr, that sick man, approached Mutim, who persuaded without difficulty to forego the marriage of Aisha to his son. And some months after the marriage of that person, Aisha also became the prophet's wife through a marriage contracted by him and her father, at which she herself was not present. Oh, dang. So she wasn't even there. She can't even say no. She wasn't able to say no, y'all. She was out here playing with little dolls, swinging, doing her thing, and they just married her off. They said, go play. They said, go play. Don't come in until the lights come on. Or, excuse me, you better come back when the light comes on. Excuse me, that's how it's supposed to go. Better come back when the lights on. And when she came back and the lights was on outside, the street lights, she came back to the marriage. Already written. Money out. Money out. Mm, mm, mm. So everybody and their mama. And we can, man, they got some more sources. And then, hey, this is the fact. Okay, see, this is dang near everything that was broke down in the video. This is everything that was broke down in the video, y'all. So again, shout out to brother Nabi Asli. Nabi Asli for this video, for the 3 videos that we watched today, all about Aisha. And shout out to Sam Shamoon for his article in Answering Islam. Go check that out. If you just type in Answering Islam, you can find all Sam Shamoon's articles. He does amazing when it comes to breaking down the truth of Islam and how they promote all these lies and how disgusting they are. And also, brother Nabi Asli. The descriptions down below to all his videos that we watched today. His channel is linked down below in the description box. Go check that brother out. Man, God bless y'all. I love y'all for pulling up. Got much love for y'all. Much love for y'all. Only love. Appreciate you. God bless. It's just your boy Jay. God bless you for popping up. Christ Apologetics. God bless you. Appreciate you. Appreciate your videos on TikTok too. Uh, Womb to the Tomb Apologetics. I just subbed to you. Not yesterday. I got to watch some of your videos, but God bless you. Appreciate you for pulling up. John Scott. Thank you, brother. Carol B. Always a pleasure. Uncommon Virtue. Man, you've been a soldier the last couple weeks in the comment section. God bless you, Justin. Good to see you. It's been a minute since we've seen you here, Justin, but I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right, and well, at least see that you're doing all right. Uh, who else is up in here that I done seen? Ramona V. I appreciate you pulling up. Cheryl, always a blessing. Always love seeing when that fox pulls up. Tina. Tina, I'm glad you can catch a live. I think it's been a minute since you've been able to catch a live, so appreciate you for pulling up. Another soldier. I mean, dang near all you guys are soldiers in the comments, so I appreciate y'all. Tommy, of course. This brother right here has so many good things to say in the comments. This brother is bringing scripture, breaking down scripture in the comments, showing these heretics to be foolish. Protestant believer OG, triple OG. He's been helping folks out for a long time, rocking with Sam Shamoon, rocking with a whole bunch of people. This guy right here, the fact that he's in the comments, man, God bless him, and I appreciate him so very much. Shout out to JG. I don't think I've seen him too much, but God bless you for pulling up, showing up. And I don't want to scroll up to everybody, but God bless everybody who pulled up. Appreciate everybody who left a like, all that fun stuff. So tomorrow we'll be going live again. We'll be going live again, but at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, lunchtime. So if you on lunch, you just want to pull up and hear what we got to go over, what we're talking about. We're gonna be reacting to Nabi Asli's 2 other videos, and those videos are going to be of him, Muhammad being demon possessed, and also him saying that his people can lie. So we're gonna get into those. We're gonna read the sources. We're gonna see the truths, the moral character, the best of moral standards that is Muhammad, at least per the Quran and per the Islamic thought. So we're gonna get into that tomorrow. Also, we have a video at 6 a.m. dropping tomorrow. I'll be reacting to Dr. J. Smith and Alpha D, as they just had a video I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks back, that talks about the failed Quranic preservation again. So that's going to be coming out tomorrow at 6 a.m. Also, if you haven't checked out the reaction to Brother Sam Shamoon and God Logic video that dropped today at 6, y'all need to check that out too. All that fun stuff. Last thing is, if you're in the Ohio area, and you want to come to an apologetics conference, I have in the community tab, there's a couple posts from David Wood and Anthony Rogers, I believe. Or if you just go to Anthony Rogers, David Wood, Vocab Malone's channel, you will see that there's giving out free tickets for apologetics conference in Ohio. I think there's like 2 locations. The first location is in the Youngstown area, and then the second location is in like the West Salem area. If you want to check it out, do it. I'm going to be there. I'm from Ohio, so that's actually going to be a present to myself, a free present to myself, that I'm about to be able to go out and be able to talk with and learn from these brothers. David Wood, Vocab Malone, Anthony Rogers. Apparently, Apostate Prophet is going to be there too, which is going to be crazy because he's not a. Well, I mean, I guess he really actually kind of well, he just does apologetics. I don't know if he does Christian apologetics, but I know eventually he'll come over to the truth. He will. God bless him. And then Hatun Tosh, that's why I really can't wait to see Hatun Tosh. Soldier, straight up soldier. But with that being said, if you made it up to this point, God bless you. I appreciate you. That ticker's been going down for a little bit now. If you want to like, share, subscribe, and vibe out with your boy, that's fine. If you want to hit that noti bell, be notified anytime I drop. I like to do these type of reactions that are live. I also do reactions that are pre-recorded, and I have people come on and share their testimony. That being said, this has been your boy, the Scripture Plug Albert. Catch y'all again tomorrow, lunchtime, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Love y'all. Good night. God bless.